Have the Baltimore Ravens totally became delusional with a less than 100% Lamar Jackson? And it sounds like no changes along the offensive front. Have they become delusional to think that this formula, this repeat of an offense, is going to put them in position to make a run at anything this season? We discuss next. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Bald Perspective. Let's talk. The Baltimore Ravens, I think, have become absolutely delusional. And you know what? I'm not going to live there with them, right? You see, the thing about relationships is that you have to stop suffering when your partner is suffering. Somebody has to be well. Somebody has to be logical. Somebody has to be reasonable. And right now, this relationship that us as a fan base have with the Baltimore Ravens organization, it seems like maybe they're trying to get us to fall into delusion with them. Here's what I mean. We're supposed to show up or tune in on Sunday to watch a less than 100% Lamar Jackson get right behind that porous offensive line and perform at a get right level. Get right being, hey, offense is functional, pass game is functional, run game is functional, defense falls in line and supports what the offense is doing. But here's the deal. They're offering us, from everything that we're hearing, they're offering us the same exact playbook. Not the literal playbook, but the scheme, the lineup, the players. And they're telling us, believe in what you've already seen. Don't believe your eyes. Believe what we tell you. Believe what we're offering you. You know what that's called? Delusion. See, when I can look at what you're offering me and I can tell that it's trash, you're wanting me to believe that it's viable and usable. If there's no changes made along this offensive line, that says to us as a fan base that we're supposed to believe that Ronnie Stanley, Voorhees, Linderbaum, Daniel Falele, and Roger Rosengarten are suddenly going to be good after 2 weeks off. They were less than good as a complete unit. Voorhees and Falele were less than good individually. So they suddenly were able to learn how to block and learn how to move and learn how to turn power and translate that into strength and move their man and be dominant. There's no evidence of that. And we had 6 weeks of example that says so. 6 weeks. Not 1 or 2. Not an early week 5 bye. So you have a little bit of question of what this team offensively can do. No, you have 6 consecutive weeks of example of less than stellar offensive line play. And then the news going into the bye week was, hey, we're going to make a couple of changes offensively. And maybe that leaned more into blocking scheme versus blocking personnel. But you believing that Lamar Jackson is supposed to come back less than healthy and play behind the same offensive line that helped him pull that hamstring? Oh, I get it. I understand now. Patrick Ricard. Patrick Ricard is coming back. Well, Patrick Ricard doesn't fit the run blocking, because if Patrick Ricard has to be in on passing plays, then that's less personnel that can go out into the route. Patrick Ricard is a run blocking instrument. And in truth, he hasn't been active. He hasn't had no live game action. So we don't even know what he's going to be able to do. See, the Ravens are banking on his 5-time Pro Bowl status. He may not be that same Patrick Ricard. How do we know? Because it took him literally 8 weeks to get ready. And if you want to count preseason training camp, it's been longer than that. But this is what you're selling the Baltimore Ravens fans? Now, there may be a little bit of secretiveness happening But the Baltimore Ravens are trying to keep things close to the vest and not allow the enemy to know like what they're doing and who they're going to trot out. But if there's no changes, what that says is this coaching staff is delusional. Or it says whoever they put on this offensive line as backups is even less of a value than the people who's starting. Think about this. Whoever it is, Ben Cleveland, Corey Bullock, or some other guy. And I don't, and there's no expectation that Emory Jones was ever going to be available this week anyway. But if that's the guys who were supposed to compete and they couldn't beat out, what we had already saw 6 consecutive weeks, and what we saw was trash play from the starters, I don't know what's less than trash. That means they're not good either. But this is what you've been selling us. You see, it's frustrating because the Baltimore Ravens are one of the slowest decision-making teams in the NFL. It's like you can know what you need to do. It's very obvious what you need to do. It's very clear that they may have need to have made a trade and brought in an upgrade. But they don't. You can't tell me that some of those veterans who are on low-end deals couldn't have been brought in for some draft capital. But just like always, the Baltimore Ravens value picks over players, unknown potential over proven commodities. And it's coming off as delusional, but it's actually coming more off as ignorant and unintelligent. That's really what it's coming off like. You see, I know I'm coming off as a malcontent of a fan, but that's what the bald perspective is about. We don't pull punches. We don't hold back. We say what we're going to say and we stand on it. And it's really maddening, I guess you could call it that, for the Baltimore Ravens to be so impotent when it comes to decision making that pushes this team forward. Having one of the worst offensive lines in the league and you don't do anything about it. And now after week 8, the clock's ticking at that point. Now the pressure is on. Or are the Baltimore Ravens really positioning themselves to be sellers? Especially if they lose in week 8. Either way, it's really frustrating to see that they don't have an interest in protecting their do-it-all everything quarterback. If I'm Lamar Jackson, and if I'm his team, meaning his agent and his supporters, his personal inner circle group, I'm saying, brother, if you're not healthy 100%, don't get out there. Because this is the same offensive line that has him at 12 sacks. Heck, man, he ain't played but 3.3 games. He ain't played but 3.3 games and he already has 12 sacks. You see, my former pastor used to say, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So what do we really expect to change in Baltimore? Until next time, I'm Belanger, and I'm out.